Hey, mixing and mastering folks, hope you're doing well. Oh, I didn't have my mic up. Hey, mixing and mastering folks, hope you're doing well. This is another option for a project. I'm going to give you some stems. So these are each individual instrument, and if you want to mix them, you can in whatever way you want. So I made these in Logic because that's my main DAW. So let me walk through what's what in here. We've got some bells. I've got some different guitars. I've got another guitar. I've got an acoustic. You'll notice this has some hiss in it, so that might be something to pay attention to. Kick, some snare, hi-hat, which becomes a shaker at one point. This has some crash, bass, keys, and yeah, those are the 11 tracks. So one option I'll give you is I'll just send you these stems. I'll send you these stems, just the files themselves. But let's say you don't have a DAW at home, you don't have an option with which to do this. I'm creating a version on BandLab. So you can open this up. The stems are already going to be in here, and you can just mess with this from there. I've renamed the tracks and put them in a relatively logical order. It's pretty tough to, you can just do all this on your phone, but it's tough to do stuff like renaming. So I decided to do some of this for you. So in BandLab, you can't get to a window like this, like a mix window where you can adjust things like this. So it's very similar to GarageBand on iPads, which we've used in class a lot. So it's mostly on the side like this. That's our main volume control. And instead of it being a little mix window over here, the main thing we'll use is the effects button down here. So you can do this if you're on a computer. This also works on a Chromebook perfectly. If you have some sort of computer, do it on there. This will all work on your phone. It's just the buttons are going to be in a slightly different place. So we're going to use the effects button. Now, some of these are already kind of mixed. But this kick, let's say we want this kick to have a little more to it. Now, we don't always want to mix with the solo button, but so I'm going to have it up. Let's say we want our kick to have some like distortion on it. Now that's a little silly, but I wanted to give something that's a little more intense. How about a compressor to bring it way up? We should have a meter on here. So now it's a little more in your face. Yeah, so that's the idea where the effects are. The place you'll really want to add some effects is with the guitars, because I recorded these totally clean. If you look here, there's nothing other than some gain on that one acoustic. There's absolutely nothing here. So there's kind of a lot of free reign to mess with these. So let's start with this one, for example. Now there are these guitar amps in here, but every time I go to use them, they don't seem to switch around. So if I do this, that's fine, but then it doesn't really change. Now maybe it's working better than it did before. But so if you want to try the amps that are in here, you could. You can also plug in your own guitar here, which is why they have these in here. But let's try moving these around. Yeah, this is what was happening where it didn't change it when I changed it. So you might consider just doing some other stuff. So like if you wanted to add a wah onto here. For example. Or let's say a chorus. So whatever you think might be fun. I think this with the electric guitars where you'll be able to, or the guitars is where you're gonna be able to have the most fun in creating your own thing. Make sure you're panning stuff left and right, and make sure you're trying to just listen for a second too. So like, you got to prioritize what's going to be in front, what's going to be in back. I put in some little, this little bell thing. It's not like this is a main part. It's just kind of a fun little extra thing. So decide where you want to do stuff like that. So this is I don't know. I just thought I wanted a more an upbeat, kind of relaxed little thing that you could work with. Alternatively, if you want to go use this site that I used for sound engineering, where you can grab stems to all these different songs, you can just find something. That was very loud. You can just find something. It's also very loud. You can just find something that you want to mess with, and go from there. Download the stems, but probably avoid one that's like 40 tracks. So feel free to do that as an option as well. I just thought I'd create something. A lot of these, oops, wrong one. A lot of these choices are either a little too intense or they aren't very good a lot of times as well. Not that whatever I made was some masterpiece, but it had enough to work with basically, so that you could have fun with it. So that's one of our options for mixing and mastering. I'll send out this link to this site and some other ideas for you. All right, have a good rest of the day. Take care, everybody.